exceeded Fenton Stembo's basketball
He was a
career.
Tuesday night ESPN college basketball star.
But I think the criticism from his rookie year, I mean, he, pass completions, passer rating, they weren't on par with what you would want out of a franchise quarterback. So I think the skepticism coming from that rookie season was well-deserved. I mean, anybody with those particular stats, if you're just glossing over them, you're going to say, hey, there's a lot of improvement. And if you go back and look, there's not a lot of guys that have been able to just kind of flip that and create such an upward tick in terms of, accuracy and finding the right pieces and getting the ball to where it needed to go, eliminating turnovers. And he's done all that. I mean, I think it's fair enough, especially after last year's AFC Championship game. I mean, you can throw him in, the mix of, is he the best quarterback in the entire league? I mean, people might scarf at that notion, but, we know Mahomes didn't play to the Mahomes level. Rodgers is, played MVP level. But, you got to put Allen right there in the mix of some of the best that we've seen in the last few years.
And one of the – I knew he would be hard to replace. I knew it back then as a little guy. He was going to be hard to replace. But one of the things in New York with the young quarterback, he's not Joe Namath. And there hadn't been a Joe Namath since Joe Namath ruled New York City. There have been a couple that they've gotten close. They were good. They teased us and then couldn't finish off.
Yeah. When you look at the Jets, I mean, you think of, you Richard Todd, Ken O'Brien, some Vinny Testaverde years, you had your, Matt Sanchez years. It's kind of crazy to think that franchise has been absent of a elite signal caller since Joe Namath. And that just shows you how hard it is to find a quarterback. And this is the Big Apple, that star-craved city where the big guys go. Yeah, you think they would even have been able to bring in a high-caliber quarterback free agency. I mean, free agency's been around long enough. They've had trades. I mean, this last year, they were trying to get Tyreek Hill. So, they were in the market. They had the ability to go out and get a lot of different, quarterbacks. But they're there. I was thinking about this, guys, because we're talking about, the current guys. And this one I thought was kind of easy, and I didn't delve outside this particular division. But I think, I guess the Dolphins, you could go Greasy, Marino, but, New England, Brady, Dolphins, Marino, Jets, Namath, and then Buffalo, Kelly, I think, of all-time greats of each.
Joe Ferguson, second to Jim Kelly.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Because man, he had an arm.
On the quarterback conversation, and I'm going to ask these separate because I think there's two quarterbacks out there that could potentially be trade targets, or if they get dropped, they could get picked up. I'm going to start with Baker Mayfield. I have said I think that the market is being more created than it actually is a market. Do you think that there is a market for Baker Mayfield right this second?
I do not. I think the Seattle stuff that came out, I think that's more, I don't know, this is my assumption. I think that's more of a ploy to get the Carolina Panthers to move quickly rather than them kind of staying put. Because right now, Cleveland has no leverage. I mean, I heard you guys talking about it right before I came on. The Baker said basically, it's very unlikely that these two sides are going to reach out. He probably doesn't want it to happen. They're going to part ways. Don't expect to see Baker Mayfield in a Cleveland Browns, uniform in 2022. So that said, Cleveland has to either, they have to bite the bullet and have to sacrifice and pay some of that salary, because the teams right now, they say, listen, you're going to eventually release them. You're not going to keep them. You're not going to pay him $18 million to sit. You're going to have to get something out of him. And I think Seattle's, from what I've heard, and granted, he's been a struggle too. He had a good rookie year, and then it's kind of been completely backwards for Drew Lock. I don't really think they feel comfortable with Geno Smith. But at the end of the day, you got the Seahawks and the Panthers. I thought, from at least the people that I talked to, that that Baker would have been already in Carolina.
Right.
When minicamp started,
yep.
I thought that would have been the time to execute the move. But it's kind of dragging on a little bit longer than what we thought.
And it's June going on July. You got to get him in the building at some point if you expect him to be a starter for your football team. Now, on the other hand, what do you think about Jimmy G? Jimmy G, it's saying he's now progressing. He's back off shoulder surgery. He will throw in the next few weeks. And the trade market could potentially heat up. Do you think there's a trade market for Jimmy G at this point in the game?
Yeah, I do. And the same with Baker. I think they're kind of both in similar situations. I think there might be a little bit more upside for Jimmy G.
Right.
Just
Because he's done it before.
you
We've
know,
seen him get
the
there.
he's done it.
though.
Yeah, he's had success. But, the injuries, you keep him coming off the injury that he's coming off now. The guy can't stay healthy. But I'd find it strange that, San Francisco would move him to Seattle. Just because they're in the same division. So that would be kind of off the wall. It's just a matter of what team on the outside, is looking at him as a possible piece. Maybe not this season, but kind of this. Not to sneak him in, day one, but maybe to move him into that part. If just hypothetically, the Jets. Just say the Jets said, hey, we can get this guy on the cheap. If Zach Wilson does struggle, we feel confident with some of the guys we have around him. Maybe we could take an upgrade. And I think most of us right now, sitting here, and what's the date? June 28th?
Yep.
That would, think that, the Jets would be a better offensive unit. And you'd think of Robert Saleh with the 49ers. There's the connection there that Jimmy G would outperform Zach Wilson.
Yeah, but here's the thing about Garoppolo. He's been in 2 games, won a Super Bowl, won an NFC Championship game, that if he makes one more play, they win a Super Bowl and they're back in another one, and he couldn't make that throw.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, I look at it on the flip side, Brett. I mean, that Chiefs game, if some miraculous plays by Patrick Mahomes, if they don't, because I mean, it looked like the 49ers pretty much won that game, and I can't remember the last time I had a harder, really torn on who was going to win that game. Fortunately, I picked the Chiefs, but I mean, when you looked at that San Francisco front and that offense as well by Kyle Shanahan, they looked like a dynamic team, but. Garoppolo is going to have his critics because he gets hurt. He hasn't been able to win the big game. And, he was, it's just one of those things. And, the Trey Lance thing, I thought he handled it well. He could have pouted, but he didn't. He performed well. And, and it's just, it's kind of a weird thing that, he'll no longer most likely be in San Francisco. And he will be probably like Baker Mayfield wearing a different uniform this upcoming year.
Who made who? Kittle make Garoppolo or Garoppolo make Kittle?
I think Kittle probably made Garoppolo. Yeah,
He'll make Trey
Kittle,
Lance too.
Yeah, and plus his blocking. Yep. I mean, he does so much for the 49ers. In terms of being that versatile dual threat tight end, where he can seal the line, he can fill the seam, he can get downfield.
When they load up that one side, bring old Big Jusic in motion. Kittle and the right tackle Jusic and Kittle are moving some people.
Yeah, and I would say the left side, too. Trent Williams. I don't know how he keeps doing that, by the way. I have no understanding for how he's, 32, 33, 34?
Why are more teams right-handed than left-handed, though? What do you mean with running the ball? Don't you think most teams prefer to run to the right side?
Yeah, and that's sort of historically your right
game?
tackle is going to be your big heavy guy with the big legs who can drive people off the ball. Your left tackle is more finesse, protecting the backside. So I guess I get that, but Trent Williams does it all. Last thing for our guest, Bo Marchand at Bo Marchand on Twitter. And I got posed this today, and I hadn't really thought about it as hard as I have today since I've been asked it. The Eagles roster is unreal good. Like, A.J. Brown they add. Devontae Smith is your second receiver. Quez Watkins is your third. I think you can deal with that. Miles Sanders, good running back. Their O-line is
Kenneth Gainwell.
Their O-line's fantastic. Their O-line is one of the best in the NFL. Defensively, they still have a bunch of guys. They went and signed James Bradbury as their other corner this offseason. They have a go-for-it roster, but can Jalen Hurts get them over the hump? That's the question.
Yeah, and they talk about another quarterback that runs too much. If they can get vertically with Jalen Hurts, they have a shot. And you mentioned all those pieces. Then you think of the draft. I mean, I think he's one of the best guys in this past draft. You get Jordan Davis,
and
then you get Nakobe Dean.
Yep.
Kelsey. Jason Kelsey.
I think they got Josh Jobe real late too, as a reserve corner from Bama.
Yeah. Like I said, they had a nice draft. They got Juergens, the next center, after Kelsey, goes off and, to a great career. No, they're that sneaky team. And we know with the NFC East, it's one of the most unpredictable divisions that we can find. As much as we I think since I've started coming on this show, I've probably picked the Cowboys to win that division every single year. I don't know how many times they haven't.
Super Bowl 3 or 4 times in that span.
Yeah, I mean, it's just they're a Super Bowl team. They're a playoff team. Blah blah blah.
You know why, Bo? You know the linkage for us with the Cowboys.
It is the Cotton Bowl.
We met at the Cotton Bowl at Cowboy Stadium. That's why. That's our tie.
That is, and maybe subconsciously, maybe that's our affinity for one another. We're just thinking about Jerry World and our first meeting, and the Cowboys get the piggyback off our Super Bowl.
And introduced by Gil Brandt.
Yeah, Gil, what a legend.
Yeah,
I mean, just class act, Gil Brandt.
Sure is.
Now, we're gonna have to let you go. We could talk for a while, but Bo, you have a good one.
Happy 4th. We'll visit next.
You have a happy 4th.
Have a great Independence Day, guys.
NFC East next week. We'll do NFC East.
Oh, that'll be a little tougher, I guess.
Thank you, Bo.
Yep. Have a great week.
You got it. Bo Marchant with us, and indeed, next Monday, Independence Day, 4th of July. But we'll be here Tuesday talking with Bo about the NFL. This hour of our show brought to you every day by DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area. Online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. All the cars test-driven, thoroughly examined, checked out bumper to bumper, head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make, every model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find that special car just for you. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales, where you're treated like family by kind, courteous employees, laid-back atmosphere, no high-pressure sales at all, the opposite of that. They care about your time, and they want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience. They know we live in a world today where time really matters, and that's why they keep it so simple and have it so streamlined and so effective. Find the car you want, test drive that car, credit approved, paperwork completed, all in 45 minutes or less. It's a guarantee at DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road and online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales.
Let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we get to what's trending. And what's trending? A lot of NBA news. Kyrie Irving news.
Russ.
We have some John Wall news. We have some Russell Westbrook news. We have a whole bunch to get to on the other side right here on Sports 56 98.5.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
In the alley since 1948, the world-famous Rendezvous. John, it's so good to see everything kind of getting back to normal.
Brett, we've done a lot of ads before, but maybe it's time for me to do a recap. We have valet parking at the end of our alley on Monroe. On Fridays and Saturdays, we give away our wonderful red beans and rice until it runs out. And you know we like to do things local. Miss Barbara Jackson of O Taste and See has been making these wonderful chess and pecan pies, that's pecan, not pecan, and key lime pies for dessert. And we just started serving this wonderful gelato from Sweet Magnolia Gelato Company. And just to remind everybody, you don't eat cheese and sausage with a knife and fork. You take a cracker, you put sausage on it, you put a piece of cheese on it, a little mustard or a little sauce, take a bite and chase it with the pickle. Brett, we've always been the place for all gatherings, whether they're corporate, rehearsal dinners, retirement parties, birthday parties, whatever. We seat anywhere from 20 people to 250 people. And oh, by the way, we are now open for lunch from 11 o'clock on Tuesday through Saturday. Come see us at the Rendezvous.
It's time to vacation at home with Family Leisure. That's right. Enjoy a vacation in your own backyard with a little help from Family Leisure. Like play gyms and trampolines, they're now $500 off. And those trampolines, by the way, they've got that mesh on the side, so trampolines are now safe, and you'll be the hit of the neighborhood. They've got hot tubs in stock and ready to go, and you can get up to $1,000 off when you pick them up. All kinds of do-it-yourself pool specials, like savings of up to $1,500 on all in-stock pools when you pick it up and install them yourself. And if you're looking for patio furniture, then stop on in, because they have tons in stock and they're ready for you to pick up. So get ready for that vacation at home with the help from Family Leisure. Family Leisure's Vacation at Home sale. It's happening right now at Witten Road and I-40, where family and fun truly do come together.
Getaway Sports Bar, the best kept secret in town. Open noon to 1:30 a.m. 7 days a week.
Garvin, the owner, created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Rack them up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town, grab you a pool stick and get you some good bar grub. 100% Angus burgers, big and moist chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. with long neck domestics, 225 Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester.
Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique, fun bet types like same-game parlay, and exclusive, always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boosts on the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game day. And if you win, they even get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. If you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started and be sure to sign up with promo code CASH so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code CASH. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Let's talk savings, Mid-South. Colin Johnston here from DeSoto Auto Sales. I want to go camping, but I can't till I sell more cars. So this month, my sticky situation could be your sweet solution. You could save a ton on a nicer, newer car. The more you spend, the more you save. Been burned by credit before? My For the People credit approval process is sweeter than chocolate. We want to help you drive a nicer, newer car today. So if you want to be a happy camper, stop burning up in a car you hate. Truck on down to DeSoto Auto Sales today. But hurry, this deal's done once I finally go camping. I'm Colin Johnston, your dealer for the people. New cars are arriving daily. See them all at DeSotoAutoSales.com. That's DeSotoAutoSales.com.
Credit requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Vehicle purchase price determines actual discount. Offer absolutely expires on June 30th, 2022.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
I couldn't believe it either, but that thing runs like new.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
My nail tech knows how to keep it a little secret. I don't wish for my success, I speak it. I caught a buzz and you did too, but you tweaking. I look like I've been getting money, how reeking. You smell me, that's LV. Walk around.
All right, we have an ignorant amount of point guard news in the NBA. It seems. Let's start with the fun news. John Wall and the Rockets have agreed to a buyout. Rockets talked him down $6.5 million off of the $47.4 million he is owed. Plans on signing with the Clippers when he clears waivers. I tend to love this move. Although John Wall is not what he once was. But there's still, I believe, something there. And let's be honest about the situation with the Clippers. He doesn't have to be the guy that he once was. He doesn't have to be. You have Norman Powell. You have Paul George, Kawhi. Off the bench, as far as scoring is concerned, Marcus Morris, Reggie Jackson, Luke Kennard. You have more than enough around John Wall where he doesn't have to be the first leading scorer. He doesn't have to be the second, maybe not even the third. He could be a fourth or fifth option on the offensive end, and I think that would fit him well.
It should, and for them to finish ahead of the team that they share the building with, he's going to have to.
Yep.
And with last year, I mean, obviously had the hamstring strain that he's coming back from, and not playing last year is going to always be a concern. But, you know, he made a decision last year along with the Rockets to not play. And if you watch the brand of basketball that the Rockets played last year, it is no stranger to me why he didn't want to play. It was an ugly brand, a selfish brand of basketball. I don't blame him at all.
And they have a bunch of young guys and a lot of backcourt members that needed to get seasoning. And having him in there would kind of be pointless for the Rockets for a future perspective.
No doubt.
And he just sort of – honestly, I saw it as a little bit unselfish, saying, I'll get out of the way, guys.
Yeah, you guys do your thing.
Yeah, like, and and people would say, well, he's making $45 million. How unselfish is he really being? Yeah. But, like, I sort of viewed it that way because he said, I'll get out of the way. I don't need to play.
I love some of the Optia news. Like Russell Westbrook wasn't going to.
Oh, God. What was he going to do, really?
I don't like $47 million.
47.1.
Yeah.
That'd be a big no thank you.
He's got a great agent, Thad Fouché, too.
All right, question. And I think I know the answer that most people will have to this. Text line, you can answer it if you want. 901-360-8255. Can he change with Darvin Ham now as the head coach? Will he change? Will his style change? Will he be better with Darvin Ham in there?
He's going to have to because of laps around the track, because of the experience. He's got to show I'm a veteran influence on this team. I can't be wild child anymore. He almost will have to.
That is so off-brand, though, for him, right?
And to give that new coach validation in that
True,
locker room.
But that's
he's got to be on Team Ham.
And I thought Darvin Ham killed the press conference. I mean, you had Russell Westbrook in there watching him say things about Russell Westbrook, and Darvin Ham killed it and said,
"Don't just support me at the presser, support me on that floor."
But he said, "You guys got to understand, he's still one of the best players in this league, and we just have to get him in a better headspace." And I don't know. And I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination the Lakers' problems last year were Frank Vogel. I don't think Frank Vogel really went out of his way to make it work for Russell Westbrook, and I think that's reciprocated too. I don't think Russell Westbrook went out of his way to make it work for Frank Vogel, but I thought there could have been more done to help Russell in that situation last year.
Do you send Russell Westbrook to a shot doctor this summer?
Yeah, I mean, certainly it wouldn't hurt to fix his shot
It's
a
never
little
been
bit.
good, though, really.
No, it really hasn't. But also, I think a player of his caliber, it is so. I think us mere mortals underestimate how difficult it would be to be his level of great and then totally change the way that you play to cater. I mean, he's played one way that's benefited him for so long. Almost Carmelo Anthony, it took him taking basketball away from him for an entire year for him to make that change.
But to be at grand old man of the game level, doesn't he kind of have to?
He has no choice.
Capitulate.
Yeah, but again, I think that's off-brand for him. I think he's a guy.
Yeah, there's no capitulation in brand.
I mean, that's just who he is. He gets the ball in his hands. He wants to make something happen with the ball. He gets his stats. And I'm not saying he's a overly selfish player. I think he's been unfairly cast as a ridiculously selfish player when I don't know if that's the full story. And I also think he gets cast as a loser when I don't think that's the full story by any stretch of the imagination.
Carmelo example was great.
So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it works out better for him with Darvin Ham. But I always thought when this whole thing went down, the whole trade, like LeBron James and Russell Westbrook's just a bizarre match of not just personalities but styles of play. I mean, they like to have the ball in their hands. They like to make things happen, and
you can only have one alpha.
Yeah, and also I think for the Lakers, the one thing you have to focus on, and it's always going to be the focus, is AD going to stay healthy for more than 40 games in the season?
Huge question.
it's in the evidence in that, and the answer is no.
You know what's interesting? Comparable to Anthony Davis's number of games played in the past, I think 2 or 3 years. I can't remember the exact amount. It's either the last 2 or the last 3. Jimmy Butler is almost equal to him, but the narrative around Jimmy Butler is not even remotely similar to the narrative around Anthony Davis. I just found that very interesting that the games played number is so close.
That is wild.
Isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
I know you're right, but I would bet against it.
Oh, absolutely. I think I would too, and I know it's right. It's crazy.
that doesn't even
1-800.
Yeah, and also Jimmy Butler's and we had this conversation through the playoffs. He's a weird guy. Like the discussion around him's always very weird.
We canonized
star or
him for 2
superstar?
days.
What is he?
Remember that?
What?
We canonized him for 2 days.
He was the man, though. I mean, he's dropping 40. He's never had a 40-point game ever in the regular season, but has 5 in the playoffs. I mean, he shows up, and he seems to be a killer when it matters. So, I mean, it's why we
an hour ago, wasn't that fun that we all kind of fell in consensus on who's next? The Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah.
We're
fun.
really sitting on that.
And we're talking about just who's next in terms of teams that haven't been there before, and it would have to be the Grizzlies. Who actually wins, it might be a different conversation. But in terms of teams that are right there, you got to feel good if you're a Grizzlies fan that you cheer for a franchise that's in that
state. Today I saw odds, Grizzlies 11th most favored, 10 teams in front of them to win it all next year.
Well, That's crazy to me, honestly. Like, I got to know all the teams in front of them to really. I mean, they're young. They're young. They're the second youngest team in the NBA. I don't see regression. They're the second youngest team in the NBA, and they're here with coming off a 56-win year, and you have your core.
The win total may not be as high next year, but it won't necessarily mean that they're worse.
Your core is still together.
The West could be better. New Orleans, what they could do, a rebound, resurgent Lakers.
Clippers
are going to be a player.
New Orleans is a great one, too. A full season with C.J. McCollum and all these guys healthy, man.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Another good one.
Yep. So, but I still think
might settle into a ham and egg 50-win season.
Grizzlies are ahead of those teams, though, still right this second.
They are.
And we'll see what happens once we get into the season. But Grizzlies still have their –
Rob said it one visit with us. What about a Grizzlies white-hot start next year? They come tearing out of the house and then play like they did the rest of the year. If you just had a hot October, November, and still had the kind of the Christmas on run.
And I would have a different conversation. I would have a different tone about this conversation than being 11th shortest odds to win the NBA championship if they offloaded a piece of like Dylan Brooks caliber. All they've offloaded so far is DeAnthony Melton.
That's right.
They still have what they expected to have in regards to starters, and we'll see what happens with their draft picks. I would imagine David Roddy and Jake LaRavia can certainly make a difference in a rotation perspective next year, but that's something. Last thing before we get to our final break and get to Taco Bell Crunch Time. Kyrie opts into his deal yesterday after our 30 minutes of discussion about it possibly being over, but he opts in.
We forced him into it.
And Stephen A., I guess, said his piece about Kyrie, and Kyrie came out today and put it on Twitter saying, Stephen A., I don't hear a lot of guys 50-plus sort of talk in the tone that you talk with. Maybe you could talk with my father or my uncle a little better, or you could get on their level because we know who you are, Stephen. And then Kyrie gets responded to by Stephen A., and Stephen A. say, you got it twisted big time. I don't have to explain a damn thing to anyone, especially you and your father. Went on to say he invites him as a one-on-one. Come on my show, one-on-one. Your truth versus my truth.
No,
I got to get this off my chest. I got to get this off my chest because it bothers me because Skip Bayless did this to Draymond Green as well. A one-on-one on your show is not a real one-on-one. No. Inviting them into your place, into where you control the narrative to do a one-on-one is not a real one-on-one. That's not a conversation that's going to get anything done. That's you trying to show someone
a show host of any type,
and that's you trying to make money
of any subject. I've invited such and such 91 times, and they've turned. Well, I think there's a reason. Well, we've reached out to Senator Foghorn 12 times, and he won't come on. He's not coming on.
Yeah,
take no as an answer.
I would imagine you're going to be super fair with them once they actually join your show. Ridiculous. Now let's go ahead and get to our final break. When we come back, Taco Bell Crunch Time is upon us.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey, Mid-South, looking for the perfect ride that's perfect for you? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike. And if you don't see exactly what you want, no problem, we can order it for you. Right now at Gossett Kia, get a 2022 Kia Forte LXS, $210 a month. 2022 Kia Soul LX, $219 a month. Both 36-month leases and $27.99 due at signing. And road trip ready SUV 2022 Kia Sorrento LX, $315 a month, 36-month lease and $34.99 due at signing. And all Gossett Kias come equipped with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month leases, $650 acquisition fee, $30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, 0 security deposit. Forte, $89.89, $848, MSRP $20,770. Sold in $78.68.67, MSRP $20,880. Sorrento, NG $128,223, MSRP $31,980. Must finance through Kia plus tax, Highland license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/5/22. Dealer stock only. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can save just by being you. DriveWise in the Allstate mobile app gives you personalized driving feedback, and by adding it to your policy, you can save for driving safe just by being yourself. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Savings vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
You drove it, you love it. What more do you need to know?
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye, hello, Haskell.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Now, what I learned today is that the Big 12 is targeting Brett Yormark to be their new commissioner. And he is the COO of Rock Nation, Jay-Z's agency arm. He has 14 years as a CEO of BSE Global, managing the Barclays Center and the Nets. At Rock Nation, he worked with artists, athletes, oversaw sponsorships, licensing, and brands. Last two hires, he and George Kliavkoff of the Pac-12, who was with MGM International, are outsiders to the athletic industry, but they come at a time where change is needed. And it makes more sense to me to get guys like this that are in business, that have been around a big $100 million businesses, which make no mistake, that's what these conferences are. It makes more sense than hiring an old AD or an old school president to run the conference. And they're going to run the conference like the business that it is, and they're not going to hang on to the past. And I feel like the reason we're here today with NIL, transfer portal, and why everyone's in a tizzy and everyone's head is spinning is because we were so resistant to change on the way here. I feel like guys like this can be revolutionary, and they won't be as resistant to change in the future.
Gabe, I like to grade it. Is it a hire that screams yesterday or tomorrow? This screams tomorrow.
Yep, it does.
I think it's where we need to be in a lot of things. I learned today, it's a good old-fashioned Donnybrook brawl when the interpreter gets tossed. Did y'all know the interpreter?
I didn't know about that.
The interpreter got tossed in the Angels-Mariners brawl and suspended. I've never heard of such. Now, first of all, how much stuff is he talking? Who's the interpreter going to whip? Who's he going to go out there and take out?
But it's 12 suspensions, right? That whole thing?
Oh, yeah. And it got down to the interpreter for the Angels. I've never heard of such. But I don't know who he could whip.
I don't know either. I don't. What I could have done without, I learned today that the Saints and Alvin Kamara, of course, at the Pro Bowl last year, got into it with a guy and assaulted him, and it was bad. If anybody has seen the pictures of the man after the fact, he was beaten up, he was bloodied, he was bruised. Looks like the NFL is going to seek a 6-game suspension for Alvin Kamara to start the year after that assault.
You know what Saint fans are going to say? They're
What?
always picking on us.
Well,
Because they're convinced.
Hold up now.
They did in Bounty.
Don't make me go send out this picture of the guy he beat up.
I know.
This guy was, oh my God, it was brutal.
The Saints fans are convinced the NFL's after them. Through the years, they have been. I could have done without people saying Kyrie Irving wasn't going to burn $30 million and not re-sign with the Nets. He's burned money before. Look at the last year. He's made some shaky financial decisions the last year, and he's not going to win it all in Brooklyn. I don't know where there's the perfect place for him to go and win another title. Didn't work in Boston.
L.A., send it back to LeBron. That's where it's at. Come on. Stop
ball
lying
game.
to yourself.
One ball.
One ball. I heard one ball talk on the Tigers basketball yesterday.
Yeah, you did. You told me about
Yeah, that's something.
One ball.
One ball talking.
11-man rotation.
Yeah.
It's going to get down to 7, maybe 8 come 25th of February. It always does.
An extension of what I learned today, too. Knicks, obviously, strong favorites to land Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson, the contract they're talking about, 4 years, $100 million
Good for him.
for him. And also, shout out to Ivica Zubats. You see what he got today? 3 years, $33 million.
I'll not have that kind of conversation on this show. I'm sorry.
Okay. Ivica Zubats for the Clippers. 3 years, $33 million. There we go.
How dare you use that language? I didn't know where you were going there for a second.
What I'm looking forward to tonight, I'm ready to see Cardinals versus Marlins.
Me too.
I am ready to see Mets Astros. That'll be a really fun one. But you know what I'm looking forward to? You know, from a TV standpoint, and I know people probably aren't fully into this show. I know you probably haven't seen the show, but Only Murders in the Building comes out tonight. Season 2, Episode 1, the debut of Season 2.
What channel is
Steve
it on?
Martin.
Hulu.
It's a Hulu show.
On the Hulu.
Steve Martin, Martin Short, Selena Gomez. The
Steve-
main. Season 1 was good.
Yeah,
I like
very
season
funny.
1.
Very
I have
funny.
no hula hoops or the Hulu at my house.
So you watched full season 1, Jay?
I've only seen a couple
Okay.
episodes, but I laughed.
Selena Gomez, what's her work?
She's
singer.
a singer, but she was in a
Actor.
Disney Channel show when Gabe and I were younger as well. She used to
Did
date
you watch
Justin Bieber.
Did you watch it?
Oh yeah, Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yeah, there we go. Nice.
What's the name of the show? Murder,
Only,
She Wrote?
only
Murders in the Building. Murder, She Wrote's an older one.
They're at an apartment complex, an old apartment complex in New York.
Q4
and there-
voting music.
And there's murders in the building. Only murders in the building.
What neighborhood in New York?
I'm not sure if
I'm
it
not sure about
specifies.
that. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
we got to get it. We got to get.
They
a
need to be
location.
more specific on this show.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing Dakota Hudson pitch tonight for the Cardinals as well, but also going to AutoZone Park. This is my favorite week of the year to go to the park, leading up to the 4th of July, leading up to fireworks, I think on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. I'm going to go to the ballpark tonight, Thursday, and Saturday. And the Redbirds right now, they are 10 over 500.
That's right.
How about that?
3 out of first, so by the end of the week, maybe in first. Also, Braves and Phillies, Boston at Toronto. You mentioned Astros at Mets. Milwaukee at Tampa Bay. And Drew Barrett's Orioles, only 5 under 500.
They get a round of applause.
They
for
do.
that.
Adley Rutschman.
They do.
Yep, that's true. Boom Boom Mancini.
And in Seattle tonight, they can get some 4 under. When was the last time they were 4 under this late in the year?
Seriously,
Who
though.
knows? Only Murders in the Building. The apartment building is on the Upper West Side.
Oh,
That's where it takes place.
Can you say Upper West Side without saying Toady Upper West Side? It's got to be.
I don't know. You said it that way.
Brett, you're gonna love Max Meyer tonight for the jumbo shrimp. I'm telling you what.
What's special about Max Meyer? Just good, good
He's
pitcher?
top prospect for
Okay.
the Marlins. He's
Good
great.
guy. I'm waiting for the Redbird. I'm waiting for Jordan Walker to be up with the Redbirds. Coming soon, I would imagine. I'd have to imagine. He's been killing it in Springfield. But that's all we have for today. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Drew Casey, Brent Beard, and Beau Marchand for their contributions to the program. For Brett, for Jay, I'm Gabe. Enjoy your night and be safe. We'll holler at you tomorrow.